What's up guys, this is Massey. Welcome to another video. In this video I want to show you some examples, relatively hard, for trigonometric identities. And the first example here, I want to verify tan theta plus cosine theta over 1 plus sine theta equals to 1 over cosine theta. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to write tan theta as sine theta over cosine theta plus cosine theta over 1 plus sine theta. Then when you want to add these two fractions, you need to have the common denominator. So cosine theta times 1 plus sine theta. Here, then, you need to multiply sine theta by 1 plus sine theta, and cosine theta multiplied by cosine theta. So that's going to be sine theta times 1. It is going to be sine theta. Sine theta times sine theta is going to be sine squared theta. Plus cosine theta times cosine theta is going to be cosine squared theta over cosine 1 plus sine theta. Then, as you know, sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is going to be 1. So it will be sine theta plus 1 over cosine theta 1 plus sine theta. So as you see here, these two terms are common in numerator and denominator, so we can cancel out. We have 1 in the numerator and cosine in the denominator. So that's verified. Now let's see the next example. Now in this example it says verify 1 over 1 minus sine theta minus 1 over 1 plus sine theta equals to 2 tan theta times secant theta. So first thing I'm going to do, 1 over 1 minus sine theta minus 1 over 1 plus sine theta. That's going to be 1 minus sine theta times 1 plus sine theta. And then you have 1 plus sine theta minus 1 minus sine theta. So that will be 2 sine theta over 1 minus sine theta times 1 plus sine theta is going to be 1 minus sine squared theta, which will be cosine squared theta. Then we can write them separately. Sine over cosine times 1 over cosine. It's going to be 2 tan theta secant theta. So that's going to be the final answer. So next example is cotan theta minus 1 over cotan theta plus 1 equals to 1 minus tan theta 1 plus tan theta. So what we need to do, we need to do cross multiplication. So we have cotan theta minus 1 times tan theta plus 1. Here we have cotan theta plus 1 minus tan theta. So cotan theta times tan theta is going to be cotan theta times tan theta plus cotan theta times 1, which is going to be itself 1 times tan theta, negative 1 times 1, negative 1. We know cotan theta times tan theta is going to be 1 because they are inverse of each other. So 1 minus 1 is going to be 0. So we have cotan theta minus tan theta. Now let's do the other one. That's the left side. Right side is going to be cotan times 1 minus cotan theta times tan theta plus 1 minus tan theta. It's going to be this one, negative 1 and 1 cancel out. It's going to be cotan theta minus tan theta. So these two are the same. So the left hand side and right hand side are the same. So that's verified. So now in this example, it says verify sine theta plus cosine theta times tan theta plus cotan theta equals to secant theta plus cosecant theta. So this case, we distributed sine theta plus cosine theta times tan theta plus cotan theta. Sine times tan theta plus sine theta times cotan theta plus cosine theta tan theta plus cosine theta times cotan theta. So sine theta times sine over cosine is going to be, just leave it like that for now. Sine theta times cotan theta, because cotan is cosine over sine, they cancel out and we have just cosine. Cosine theta times sine over cosine is going to be just sine theta. And here we have cosine theta times cotan theta. Then we expand this one. That's going to be sine theta to the power of 2 over cosine theta plus cosine theta plus sine theta plus cosine squared theta over sine theta. Now if we add all these four, we need to have the common denominator. We have sine squared theta times sine theta plus cosine squared theta sine theta plus sine squared theta cosine theta plus cosine squared theta cosine theta. Then what I can do, I can factor sine theta from these two and cosine theta from these two. So that's going to be equal sine theta sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta plus cosine squared theta sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta over sine theta times cosine theta. So sine squared plus cosine squared is 1. So this one 1, this one 1. So it's going to be sine theta plus cosine theta over sine theta cosine theta. Then we can say sine theta over sine theta cosine theta plus cosine theta over sine theta cosine theta. So it's going to be 1 over cosine 1 over sine theta is going to be secant theta plus cosecant theta. So that's going to be the final answer on the right hand side. So that one is verified as well. Now we need to verify sine cube theta plus cosine cube theta over sine theta plus cosine theta equals to 1 minus sine theta times cosine theta. So what we need to do, we have, if we have a cube plus b cube, when you factor it, it's going to be a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared. So we have the same thing here. So if a is sine theta and b is cosine theta, we can say sine cube theta plus cosine cube theta equals to sine theta plus cosine theta times sine squared minus sine theta times cosine theta plus cosine squared theta. So then we have sine cube theta plus cosine cube theta over sine theta plus cosine theta. That's gonna be sine theta plus cosine theta times sine squared theta minus sine theta cosine theta plus cosine squared theta sine theta plus cosine theta. These two cancel out and we have sine squared minus sine theta times cosine theta plus cosine. I'm gonna write these two together. You know why? So it's going to be 1 minus sine theta times cosine theta. That's what you see on the right hand side. Next example, it says cosine theta plus 1 divided by sine cube theta equals to cosecant theta over 1 minus cosine theta. We need to verify that. We need to do cross multiplication. From right hand side, we have 1 plus cosine theta times 1 minus cosine theta, 1 minus cosine squared theta equals to sine squared theta. That's actually left hand side. Right hand side is gonna be cosecant theta times sine cube theta. Cosecant is 1 over sine theta times sine cube theta is going to be equal to sine squared theta, which right hand side and left hand side are equal. So now in this example we have cosecant to the power of 4 theta minus cotan to the power of 4 theta equals to cosecant squared theta plus cotan squared theta. So I'm going to write it as cosecant theta to the power 4 cotan theta to the power 4. If we use the factor method, difference of squares, it's gonna be cosecant squared theta plus cotan squared theta. Now cosecant to the power of 2 is the same as 1 over sine squared theta. Cotan squared is cosine squared over sine squared. Times, I keep this one like that, cosecant squared theta plus cotan. We always need to keep an eye on the other side. So here, that's going to be 1 minus cosine squared theta over sine squared theta times cosecant squared theta plus cotan squared theta. 1 minus cosine is going to be sine squared theta over sine squared theta, cosecant squared theta plus cotan squared theta. These two cancel out and we have cosecant squared theta plus cotan squared theta, which what you have on the right hand side. So now in this example, sine theta minus tan theta times cosine theta minus cotan theta equals to sine theta minus 1 times cosine theta minus 1. Let's distribute the left hand side. Sine theta minus tan theta multiplied by cosine theta minus cotan theta. So this is going to be sine theta times cosine theta, sine theta times cotan theta minus tan theta times cosine theta plus tan theta times cotan theta. Let's see if we can simplify anything. That's we have sine theta times cosine theta, negative sine theta times cotan. Cotan is cosine over sine, so these two cancel out and we have just cosine. Here we have sine over cosine, cosine and cosine cancel out and we have just negative sine, and tan times cotan is going to be 1, we know that. So let's see how to factor it. Here we can factor cosine from the first two terms, sine theta minus 1. And here I can factor negative 1. It's going to be sine theta minus 1. So we end up having cosine theta minus 1 times sine theta minus 1, which what you have on the right hand side. So in this example, it says verify sine squared theta over cosine squared theta plus 3 cosine theta plus 2 equals to 1 minus cosine theta over 2 plus cosine theta. So we have basically sine squared theta over cosine plus 2 times cosine plus 1. When you factor this, that's the quadratic formula. Product to 2 and add to 3. It's going to be 2 and 1. So here we have 1 minus cosine theta over 2 plus cosine theta. And here, sine squared theta is the same as 1 minus cosine squared theta over cosine theta plus 2 cosine theta plus 1. Then you factor that, is going to be 1 minus cosine theta times 1 plus cosine theta over cosine theta plus 2 cosine theta plus 1. These two cancel out, and we're going to end up having 1 minus cosine theta over cosine theta plus 2, which exactly what you have on the right hand side. Now in next example, we have 1 plus tan theta over 1 minus tan theta equals to cosine theta plus sine theta over cosine theta minus sine theta. So let's do cross multiplication. Actually, we can do it without cross multiplication as well. Let's start with the left hand side. 1 plus tan theta over 1 minus tan theta. That's 1 plus sine theta over cosine theta. And on the denominator, we have 1 minus sine theta over cosine theta. When you add them, we need to have the common denominator. So instead of 1, I'm going to put cosine theta over cosine theta. So that's going to be cosine theta over cosine theta plus sine theta over cosine theta. Here we do the same thing, cosine theta over cosine theta minus sine theta over cosine theta, which will be cosine theta plus sine theta over cosine theta, cosine theta minus sine theta over cosine. These two cancel out, and we're going to end up having cosine theta plus sine theta over cosine theta minus sine theta. That's exactly what you have on the right hand side of this equation.